In the back streets of Sanur again today, going for a bit of a wander around. I've got a few things to do today. Number one being I need to get a bite to eat. And I was thinking about going to a few places that I really love anyway, have a bit of a coffee, but also I need to go and have a shave. It's funny because here in Bali, like you become like a wild man. If you're a guy, probably if you're a woman, you probably become like a wild lady as well. But like, I don't know if my hair grows faster here or if time just seems to pass you by, you know? So I thought I'd go and get a bit of a haircut and a bit of a beard trim or a shave or whatever and see what else is going on around town. Maybe even bump into a few people today as well. It's one of those days that's just beautiful out here. The weather has sort of come good now after all that rainy stuff we had a week or so ago. That was terrible, but it feels like we're at the back end of the rainy season now. So any rain that we do have, it seems may not set in. And the weather for the past almost week now has had a lot of really glorious patches like this. Doesn't mean there is no rain, it's just there's only a tiny bit. I mean, you can see that. I'm coming into a place called Sanur Coffee Roasters right now. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know I love this place. Today I wanted to come here and try something different, something that I've never had before. So I'm gonna ask them, what have they got that's special today? Hey, yeah, Ken. It's getting pretty busy at the moment, a bit of a lineup. I might have to sit down first, let this line go away, and then get, oh, look at that. Someone's just got French toast, a different one to what I had last time. I had the bacon and maple syrup one last time. That person's just got a sweet one, which looks good. The good thing about this place is that it's a really interesting example of how modern places in Indonesian society go hand in hand, when sometimes as visitors to this place, we don't often think of it that way. So this is a side of Indonesia that you might not see a lot of, which is behind the scenes, behind the tourist veneer, where people who have got money, Indonesians who have got money and love good quality, will come to a place like this. And this is a classic example of it. So Sanur Coffee Roasters at first glance might look like a place set up for tourists, yeah? But when you come here, it's almost all locals and the prices are pretty high, they're pretty expensive. But what it shows you is that there is a big market here for locals as well. It's massive, but it's sort of behind the scenes. You don't see it so much. And this is one of the key reasons why I don't like it when people say, oh, the Balinese are so poor. I mean, some are, but not everyone. And a lot of Balinese have a lot more money than the average Westerner does. You know, people have businesses. They might be a lawyer, they might be a doctor, they might be a dentist, and those sorts of jobs pay very well. They might be business people, they might be investors. There are lots of very wealthy people here in Indonesia, and some of the extremes of wealth is absolutely astonishing. It's just the disparity between the very poorest and the very rich. We also need to be careful about talking about the real Bali, because the real Bali is this. This is exactly what the real Bali is. It's also the rice fields and the volcanoes and the palm trees and all that sort of stuff and the poor villages, but it's equally this as well. It's equally busy Denpasar. It's everything, really. I like to actually experience all of Bali rather than just that idyllic version, which is sort of almost like from a postcard. All right, we're having coffee this morning with Susan. So Susan's coming with me on part of this trip. That's Ken again, he's patrolling the grounds. So yeah, Susan's coming with me for this first little bite to eat, then I'm gonna go somewhere else and get a few little bits and pieces in the coffee and so forth. Ken was just telling me that the really special thing about this place is they make all their products in-house, except one item. They make all their breads and pastries and stuff in-house and cakes. And they have to get up at 4 a.m. to start the process. They've got to prove the dough and bake it. And they actually are hands-on with every single part of it. And the reason is they've got a very high standard. And sometimes when you have a business, it's hard to get other people that have the same standards as you. So they're still trying, but yeah, they are very hands-on. Of course, they want to teach other people how to do it, but that high standard, you've sort of got to do it yourself sometimes. So I always show my drink, but that's Susan. She's got an oat iced chocolate, which looks pretty cool. I mean, if you don't like your dairy, I guess, and then that one's mine. That's my hot cappuccino. Now, I've been told reliably that every time I have a sip of a coffee on camera, I get a little milk mustache and then I lick it. So that's what I've been given the feedback. So let's see if I can get away without doing that this time. I have to lick my lip, don't I? I have to. That's just such a good coffee. The first little snack we've got is a chocolate walnut salted butter. I'm not sure. That's hot. That bun is really hot. So it's freshly baked this morning. It's hot. And that butter is going to melt in there if I push it in really far. Yeah. It looks good. I'm actually going to, because that butter's so thick, I think it's supposed to be eaten without it melting. Like it'll melt a little bit, but not fully melted. Like you couldn't expect that to fully melt. I'm just going to pick it up and just give it a crack. Oh yeah, that's tasty. The thing about that bread, that's a new item on the menu here. And they only add new menu items when they're absolutely sure they're good. The thing about it is, it's quite an Asian style of bread. And if you aren't really into that sort of modern Asian style thing, you might not like it, but I love it. I absolutely love it. That would be sort of really normal to see something like that in Singapore or Hong Kong or even Japan. For sure, you'd see something like that. Even in modern cafes in Australia, you'd see that these days. This is the berry and ricotta French toast. Like, this is pretty good. This has got the berries in there, a strawberry and mulberry mix. That's got like a whipped ricotta. I'm not sure if it's real ricotta, but it's like something along those lines. So we'll give it a go. Oh, this looks good, doesn't it? Look at it. Piping hot. Now that's really good. That is a really good French toast, that. And that cream or whatever it is, that ricotta or whatever, that's just so luscious. When I'm out and about, I sometimes get stalked by people. And this is one such couple here. What's your name?
Rob.
G'day, Rob. How are you going?
Good, good.
Lee. Rob and Lee, where are you from?
Melbourne.
Melbourne, yeah. And what brings you here?
Your coffee recommendation.
There you go. That's it. I told you, the people stalking me.
You're right.
Rob actually said off camera, he's come over because he knew it was my hotspot, and then...
we actually do the laundry up the road. We thought, well, we'll wait for the laundry and have a coffee.
Excellent coffee recommendation. Really good coffee.
There you go.
You should find in Melbourne for sure.
Wow. And so how often do you come to Bali?
Once a year.
Yeah,
Once a year?
each year, yeah. We've been coming for like 30 years now.
Wow.
Come for our honeymoon first time.
Did you really?
30th wedding anniversary. Sure.
That's really cool. It's the 30th wedding anniversary. Do you see yourselves at some point in the future coming more often or longer periods?
Longer, yeah, because we're coming to that retirement
Yeah,
time, so
retire,
time's your own, man.
Yeah, so if you don't have any responsibilities at home, you might come over for a few months at a go and...
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. We're sort of, kids are off the hand, so you don't have to worry anymore.
do whatever you want.
Well, yeah, just pick the quiet time of the year and come over.
Cheap time as well, get the cheap airfares.
That's it, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Well, when I get over to Java soon, you might be able to follow in my footsteps over there.
We'll be stalking you.
Yeah, do it. I'll probably roll up to a coffee shop over in like somewhere in remote Java, and Rob and Lee pop up. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks again.
All right,
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you around.
Have a good trip.
When I'm making these videos, I sometimes forget that I'm not just talking to people who already know me, and a lot of you do, of course, but if there's new viewers out there, this is the west side of the bypass here in Sanur, the residential area, the area where I live, and where there are just a little bit of sort of there's a bit of a different atmosphere over here, and a few different places that you can come and eat and have a coffee in. I like to sort of walk around these areas. Today I'm going to walk across the other side of the bypass. So I'm just walking down a street called Jalan Ngandang. It's actually a really good access point if you're coming from the beach side of Sanur and you want to get into the west side. This sort of road is a really good place to sort of walk down or bicycle down. That place is MD Warung, open at night for really good curries. Anyway, so getting back to the point, the bypass is just here. Yeah. So if you're coming from the beach side, you'd come straight across the bypass here. And the thing is, there's a little gap in the centre of the road here where you can wait. So you can get across the road on one side, wait, and then go across the other side as well. So the road on the other side of the bypass is called Jalan Kasari. All right, we're across. The trick is, if you're not too fleet of foot, you've got to wait for there to be a gap, and the gaps do appear because about 1 kilometre up that way and about 1 kilometre down that way, there are traffic lights which sort of hold up the traffic for like 3 or 4 minutes at a time, and you get these big gaps in the traffic. So when you first get there, you might think, I can't get across, but if you wait long enough, you'll get across easy. That place there is called Warung Kecil Infinity. They do really good Indonesian food, actually. Go in there if you want to have a bit of a bite to eat. They do sort of like you pick your own type food. You know, they've got a little window, you pick your own and that sort of stuff. Pretty popular place with locals and foreigners alike. And if you like to eat healthy, you can definitely get healthy food there, as well as fried stuff. I know that some of you like to sort of analyse my shirts and all this sort of stuff. This one looks a bit like a Hessian sack, and that's because it's made out of hemp. So it really is a Hessian sack, and it fits like one as well. It's like a really poor fitting one, very loose. I've got all my chest hair, I'm not very hairy anyway, chest hair hanging out. But the funny thing about this shirt is that even though it's thick and a little bit coarse, it has a very cooling feel to it. So I've got a bit of a breeze happening today, and it seems to sort of blow through the fabric. It's really nice. I think it's one of those things that in the tropics sort of works really well. As we cruise on down here on Jalan Kasari, if you keep going down that way, that's the most common way you would go. That brings you out onto the main road, Jalan Danau Tumblingan, just north of the Andas Hotel. That's a pretty common through road, and if you wanted to come from that area of Sanur and get over to the west side of the bypass, easy to get along there. This is another little road. I think this is called Jalan Kasari 2 from memory. And hello, how are you going? And then, yeah, this goes sort of north-south. So I'm just gonna cut up here a little bit. I don't actually go down this road very much at all. I reckon I can probably count on my hands the number of times I've actually been up here. A couple of really nice temples here, left and right. Really nice local temples in a residential area. So lots of villas down these back streets here. They're a lot more expensive than you'll pay west side of the bypass. That's just the way it is, and these days, especially post-COVID, prices have gone through the roof, and it's not really affordable for most people. Look at that, Serenity Sanur Villas, that's under construction. I reckon they'd be sort of sold off the plan or something like that. They look nice. No idea how much they would cost, but I would guess they'd be expensive, because the land's just so expensive across here now, yeah? So, you know, I actually went, before I moved to Sanur, I thought, oh, there's no way I'd go and live in Sanur unless I was beachside. That's the whole point of being in Sanur. And even though I know it's going to be expensive, I don't care. I'll just get a smaller block of land, something that I can afford. But I don't think it's realistic for me these days. And now that I live west side, I sort of like it over there more anyway. I mean, I like to live over there more anyway. Although, I mean, these streets are really nice along here. I'd easily live here. But I mean, it's all about value for money in the end, isn't it? Because if you've got unlimited money, of course, you're going to get the best location and all of that sort of stuff. But it's not realistic, is it, these days? Especially with the price of property. You know, you've really got to watch it. Hello. Yeah, especially with the price of properties these days, you've really got to, you know, watch your dollars and cents, because they don't go as far as they once used to. And I think west side of the bypass, for me, just suits my style now. And maybe I've grown into it. Maybe that's what happens here, is that you have your heart set on one area, and then when you move to another one, you actually adapt and you think, you know what, it's pretty good here as well. Well, maybe it's a good lesson that no matter where you end up, now something that one of the guys that I spoke to in a previous video said is that paradise is not necessarily linked to a location, a specific location, it's what's in here. And if you can get your mind around living in a different place, you're probably going to be just as happy there anyway. These street names are interesting. Batu Merah, red brick, Gang Pohon, tree. So that's Tree Lane and Red Brick Lane. Yeah, it sort of reminds me that I was, in a few videos ago, I often do these like little impromptu language lessons, and then I don't continue on with them because I've got sidetracked and gone on to something else. But one of the things I was talking about a few videos ago was the word I, which is saya. And I think it's probably time now to provide you with some examples of how it's used in a sentence. And the most direct way that you use the word I is like at the start of a sentence, I want something. Saya mau. So mau is the verb there. So it's usually I and a verb. I will, saya akan, yeah? I will go, saya akan pergi. Saya akan pergi, I will go. And then if you want to say to where, so the word ke is the word for to when you're going to a place. Yeah, not the to that you have to go or to eat. That's a different to. It's the word to for when you're going somewhere. So saya akan pergi ke, to. And then you can say pantai. Saya akan pergi ke pantai. I will go to beach. Yeah? I mean, if you can make a sentence like that, like you're halfway there. Your journey is almost done as far as language learning goes, because all it then requires is you to learn a few more words. Instead of pantai, you can say warung, saya akan pergi ke warung. And it's pretty easy. But let's just say you talk to a taxi driver and you're not saying I will, but you want to go there. You can then just say saya mau pergi ke warung. Yeah, I want to go to the warung. That's how it works. So if you learn a bunch of words that come after the word I, like the word like, which means saya suka, I like this, or I don't like it, like saya tidak suka this. I mean, it's pretty comprehensive already. So that's what I'd sort of suggest you focus your learning on, because once you've got a few sentences like that, even though you might not be able to have a banter, you can at least get a sentence out. You get sort of a little bit further into your language learning journey where your learning sort of accelerates a little bit, because someone might say something back to you you don't understand. Then you go away and try and learn what that word was, and you sort of improve step by step. The other thing about the word saya is it also means my. So if you use the word saya after an object, say bike, so bike is sepeda, yeah? If you say sepeda saya, hello, how are you? If you say sepeda saya, that means my bike. If you say saya sepeda, it means I am a bike. Yeah? So you've got to get those right way around. Like if you're talking about your dog, you say anjing saya, yeah? Don't say it the other way around, because you'll get a few laughs just popping out here next to the Hotel 101 on the main road, Cafe Batu Jimbar across the road there. Making pretty good pace today. When you know where you're going along here and you're not looking at your map all the time, you can really speed along here and get from A to B pretty quickly. It doesn't seem as far when you've got a bit of pace about you. Just nicking down Jalan Pantai Karang now, so I'm going down towards the beach at Pantai Karang. So now you know how to say my dog, and you know how to say I want to go to the beach. Well, you can now say my dog wants to go to the beach by saying something quite similar. Anjing saya, my dog, mau pergi ke pantai. Anjing saya mau pergi ke pantai. It's pretty simple, isn't it? I mean, when you break it down step by step. Now, obviously recalling that when you're talking to someone on the side of the road is something that takes a long time. It's just, you've got to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And it is frustrating. A lot of people just give up. But if you don't give up, you will eventually remember that. And you've got to like say it. Like what I used to do is sort of learn a phrase that I know I'm going to be able to use daily. And then, once you start saying it daily, you start getting very good at it and you remember it. Like, for example, every time you see a stalled project here in Bali, just think to yourself, proyek mangkrak. You know, just blurt that out. Or you can say, nama saya, so my name, yeah, that's like anjing saya, my dog. Nama saya, Adam. My name is Adam. You know, you skip the is part, you don't need to say that. Nama saya Adam. Yeah. Nama saya Wayne. If you say that every day, or if you ask someone what's their name every day, like you'll get pretty good at it. Siapa nama anda? What is your name? Nama saya Wayne. So once you sort of like go over those things heaps of times, like you just get good at it. You recall it. I think some people sort of think that because when you're older you don't learn as well, that it's actually not possible. But I don't think it's true. Of course it's harder than if you were 5 years old, but you can still do it. You just got to be a little bit disciplined and work hard at it. And if you can't be bothered, that's okay. But if you really want to learn it, you're going to have to try hard. Bit of construction work down here at Pantai Karang. All those little shops are under renovation, it seems. That's interesting. I'll just go across the funeral grounds over here. Look across there. I think there's something going on. No, there's not. I thought there might be a little ceremony going on. But there's a few little places to eat here as well. Little food carts or gerobak as well. Without word of a lie, this is a stunning, stunning day here down in Sanur. Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. I've just got to get out into that water a little bit. Look at it. People kayaking out there, there's people sunbathing. It is a beautiful, beautiful day for a walk. Makes you really appreciate this heat. Like, we always complain about the heat, but it makes you appreciate it after all the rain we've had. Just coming up to the Icon Mall now. I just was looking out over that direction, and I will go out further at some of the waves out there. And there seems to be quite a few surfers out there, and those waves are fairly decent. I mean, I'm not a surfer, so I can't really give a really sort of detailed explanation of what's going on. But I don't know, that looks like about hip height, up to your hips. Seems all right. And they're having a bit of a go, those people out there. Just trying to zoom in a little bit. There's a couple of people on waves just over there. Hip height, oh, just above. Yeah, hip height. Yeah, definitely hip height. Yeah, they look like, decent enough. I guess if you're not an advanced surfer, that's probably fine, isn't it? Probably a bit of fun. And you know what? That's just so close to the beach. Like, it's literally like 100 meters away, or maybe 150 meters from the beach. So if you've got a surfboard, you just walk straight out, paddle straight out. It's beautiful, especially the current tides, which seem to be quite high. They're not fully high, but they're quite high. That's sort of what the icon looks like when you're down on the beach. It's not too bad, like the look of it's not too bad, honestly. And the beach going up there looks amazing. I can see some really sort of bright white skin in the ocean there. People who don't go out in the sun very much. That'd be like me if I took my shirt off. Just next to the Sanur Beach Market, there's a place called Marino. I've never had a coffee here before, so I'm just gonna do that right now. Okay, here's the coffee. Let's check it out. A little biscuit on there as well. Make sure I don't have a milk moustache. That's a good coffee. That's a really good coffee, that Merino coffee. Give you a little biscuit as well, I'm not sure, choc chip or something like that. Yeah, I like that. That's slightly unexpected for me. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. That's a very good coffee. I really love it. Okay, so that coffee was 44,310, which is a more expensive coffee here in Sanur, one of the more expensive ones that you'll have, I reckon. But I think up and down this beachfront path, there are more expensive coffees anyway. You just pay a little bit more when you've got a beachfront sort of outlook. Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, we're in the parking lot of Pantai Sindu, and we're going to cut through here if I can get through the bikes, which is always a little bit tedious. There we go. And then, go up Jalan Pantai Sindu, which is up here. This is sort of the road back up to the main road of Sanur. Up this road, there's a bunch of stuff that's quite good. Like, it's a pretty decent road with a lot of decent stuff up here, like cafes and restaurants and so forth. One of my favourite coffee shops is called Bull's Coffee. It's up there on the right. But you've also got a couple of warungs like Warung Sport, Warung Rakarai, a bit older school. But people love them, like they really do. And then you've got Shotgun Social, which is a really popular, modern, sprawling restaurant type arrangement. But the main reason I'm here is for cukur. Cukur is to shave, yeah? Get this beard shaved off. It's just gotten so long. I think it's all this hot and wet weather, which is like growing it like these weeds on the side of the road. Just saw this at Shotgun Social. Look at that. That's a huge tree. Wow. Massive, massive roots on it. Crazy. Crazy how big that thing is. Must have been a bit rotten. There's a bit of pruning going on up there as well. It happens quite often here in Bali, where you get trees, pohon tumbang, yeah? The tree falls over and then crashes on the stuff. Happens all the time. They get a bit rotten or whatever, and then you get a bit of a strong breeze come through and it just knocks it over. I don't know why it happens so often here, and you don't really hear of it happening in a lot of other places. Not sure. Just coming up here on the left to GC Barber, run by Gotchi or Gucci. You can call him whatever you want, he reckons. Like, his real name's Guccianto, and he reckons that people just call him Gotchi, but I don't know. I've been calling him Gotchi for years now, so let's see if he's open. I reckon he is.
Hello.
Hello, Gotchi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Wah, butuh cukur.
Mr. Adam, do you know Scott? Mr. Scott?
Teman saya, sahabat.
Yeah. He is also my customer for a long time.
That looks good, yeah? Thank you, Pak Gotchi. Yeah. Always love coming to Pak Gotchi. That only costs 40,000 for a shave. It's 90,000 for a haircut and a shave. That's pretty good, isn't it? Like, would you call that, is that called cutthroat?
Cutthroat, yeah.
So that's like cutthroat. That's what he says. It's like he has to put he gets a fresh razor out of the packet and puts it in that little thing and does one of these ones. And no cuts. No cuts. Thanks, Pak Kochi.
So much, sir.
Yeah. Well, that was actually the whole point of today, was actually to go out and get a haircut. And I've stopped along and had a bit of break and a couple of coffees. And it's taken me all morning having a chat to a lot of people along the way. It's what it's like here in Bali. You sort of get out and about, have a bit of a wander around, and the days just sort of drift by. I really love it. And as I walk past the warungs and shops around here, you get wafts of fried garlic being stir-fried up in the wok there, and bits of fragrance coming from little temples all around the place. A bit of chanang sari on the side of the road. You get those little incense sticks which they're burning. And that's all a part of Bali, isn't it? The smells and the sounds that you hear as you walk around. And I just love going for a walk around the place and just taking it all in. It literally is paradise here. A few videos ago, I had talked about slowing down a little bit because well, not that I was getting burnt out, but I just wanted to have a bit of a holiday. And as it turns out, because of the war that's going on at the moment, I had sort of planned to go to Europe. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to sort of stay around here. I was thinking about maybe going to Java, maybe going back over there, maybe go to East Java, maybe show you something that's really easy to do from Bali, maybe just nick across to Banyuwangi and have a bit of a look around there. So over the next sort of week or so, I should be going on a bit of a road trip. So tune in for those, because I reckon it could be quite enlightening. It'll open the door a little bit to what it's like in other parts of Indonesia that are actually quite accessible from Bali, and obviously quite interesting as well. So stick around for that. Once again, I'd like to thank all the members who have signed up in recent times. I really appreciate your support. It really helps make videos like this and go on these little trips around the place, like into Java, and show you what it's like over there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.